guys, welcome to the Mainspringer channel. I'm Parikh, and in today's video, we're going to talk about one of my newest acquisitions. This is not a new watch, but it is new to me, and this is the 6200-1200 Moser Streamliner center second with a green fume dial that is, I think, dubbed as the Green Dragon. The watch actually features this Streamliner type design, and Streamliner were these, it was a design aesthetic that they had for these vintage olden day engines in order to really highlight the aerodynamics of those particular vehicles. And they basically got inspired by those trains and tried to incorporate that design element into a watch, and very successfully, I must say, because if you look at the market of integrated bracelet watches, you have things like the Royal Oak, the Nautilus, the Bulgari Octofinissimo, the Christopher Ward 12, or even the Tissot PRX. And there's very much a angular, faceted design language that's going on with all of these watches. And to take a departure from that and come up with a design that is unique and eye-catching, this is really what Moser does very well. Louis Vuitton recently re-released one of their integrated watches, the Tambour. The watch has a design aesthetic that is very similar to that of the Moser. Leica also recently released a watch, an integrated bracelet watch, which is heavily inspired by the Moser design. So not only is this watch a pioneer, but it's already serving as a design inspiration for a lot of other watch brands. Now, the watch has a automatic movement, and this one is the HMC 200 caliber. It's 120 meters water resistant. When I actually purchased this watch, I traded 4 other watches in order to get this watch. You may be familiar with my videos on the Grand Seiko Peacock, the Grand Seiko Autumn Rich Red dial, as well as my Tudor Pelagos and my Tudor 925. I actually traded all 4 of these watches in order to get this watch. That's how much I like the design, and to me, it was worth it. Surprisingly, off those 4 watches that I traded in, I have actually repurchased one of those watches back. To me, it was a worthy trade because I feel that this is already a very iconic watch in the integrated bracelet space. Let me show you what it looks like on the wrist. The watch wears quite thin for its size. It's about 11 millimeters thick. It wears surprisingly small, even though they call it a 40 millimeter dial. I think between the case flanks as well as the fume fade of the dial, it actually wears a lot smaller. You can actually see that the bracelet just beautifully conforms around your wrist, which is amazing. The design of this bracelet is par none. I think it's one of the most beautifully designed watch bracelets out there. It's got these individual sections which kind of look like the backbone or the vertebrae of some prehistoric creature, and it's got these edges that are mirror polished, whereas the center regions of individual segments are satin polished, and the combination of that mirror shine and the satin polished gives a very interesting design cue for this watch. If you look at the side of the case, it's got again these mirror polished edges with a satin polished center, which is a little recessed. In order to design a case like this, you can immediately, looking at the complexity of the case, the curvature of the case, even the dome of the sapphire crystal and how it integrates into the case flanks, to put something like this together takes a lot of manual effort. Not all of this can be machined to a high degree, so a lot of manual finishing is required, and that's where these watches get pricey for the luxury segment. They are one of the more innovative, independent watch companies out there. They're very popular among collectors, but I don't think they have the hot streak that a Patek Nautilus or a Royal Oak has, and I feel that they should have that because they are excellent watches. Even in the secondhand market, these watches trade just slightly above retail, which is kind of a shame because they didn't make these watches very long, and it's surprising that they don't sell for more than retail detail, which a Royal Oak does, and I would argue that a Royal Oak is, although iconic in design, some of those watches aren't even water resistant to this degree as the Moser is. But again, the collecting community is nothing to do with rationality. It really all has to do with hype. So there's that aspect that plays into that. But overall, again, a great looking watch. It's really, I'm a very design forward collector. I really like unique designs. This is a watch that I admired from day one. It took me a few years to buy other watches and trade up and work my way to this. But let me know your thoughts on what you think about this particular watch. They came out one with the salmon dial, which is also sold out. Last year, they actually came out with the enamel dial, which if you haven't seen my top 10 video of watches from 2023, check it out. I think you may find that my selection of top 10 are different from what most people typically believe should be in a top 10 watch list. Thank you for watching, and let me know in the comments what you think about this watch, and we'll talk to you later. Take care.